Hi, today we'll discuss about Oracle ASM redundancy level. ASM disk group redundancy controls how the data is mirrored to protect against disk failure. So if there's a disk failure, then data redundancy is maintained to protect the data. So there are four redundancy levels: external redundancy, normal, high, and flex redundancy. In external, there is no mirroring. There's only minimum one failure group it is needs, and there is no data protection at the ASM level, but the data is protected with underlying hardware redundancy such as RAID 5 or RAID 10, etc. Normal redundancy, you need it has two-way mirroring. It requires minimum two failure groups. Failure group is a logical group of disks that are has a single failure point, such as a disk controller. So if there is a problem with the disk controller, the only that failure group will fail. Remaining failure will be up and running. So it stores two copies of every extent across different failure groups. So the redundancy is at the extent level, or not at the disk or disk group level. So it can tolerate failure of one failure group. If one failure group is failed, then your data is protected. If more than one failure group is failed, then your data may be corrupted. Same for high redundancy. It's a three-way mirroring. It requires minimum of three failure groups. Store three copies of every extent different failure group, and it can tolerate maximum two failure group failure. Next is flex redundancy. It is introduced in TLC release 2. It allows mixed redundancy level within one disk group. So you can define different file group. File group is a group of file assigned to a database to manage the quotas and redundancy level independently. So you can divide your disk group into different file groups, and each file group can have a different redundancy level. It requires minimum of three failure groups. It can tolerate up to two failure groups failure, but if less than five disk failure groups are present, then the disk group can only tolerate only one failure of failure groups. Here are some of the syntax examples. Create disk group data external redundancy. So it is a redundancy external. So you can provide one disk group, minimum one disk fail group is needed. And it is a normal redundancy. Create disk group data normal redundancy. This is a default redundancy level. So I need to provide two fail group. Minimum two fail group is needed. And the third one is high redundancy. It needs minimum three fail. So that's about ASM redundancy level. Thank you.